you guys can pay attention to the real mythology, and that's the mythology of the Pointless Discourse podcast, where we get such reviews as, I didn't know.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and s2e13.
Hello, it is me, the pain of D.
Do you have any fun facts for everybody this week?
I woke up today. I think it's a fun fact. Nah, I lost the page. I just had it up. There it is. Another person could have voiced Stan. Bob Odenkirk, known for his roles in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, was offered to voice Grunkle Stan, but obviously turned the proposal down. And then he was like, "Yeah, how different would he sound?" I don't even know who this dude is. I never watched these shows.
I feel like if you look at his face, you'd recognize him.
I'm looking him up right now. He's that dude that's he's the actor of the Saul Man, right?
Well, yeah, but I recognize him just from other stuff, because I didn't watch Better Call Saul, but he appeared in an episode of The Bear, and I was like, oh, it's that guy.
I haven't watched that either.
He's only in one episode. Or, yeah, he's only in like one episode, so I wouldn't call that how you would recognize him.
He was a writer on Tenacious D. Oh, because I'm looking at the writer stats. I'm looking at them. Where actor? There we go. He has one upcoming. The Room Returns. Oh, that's right. Oh, the bear. Wait, is the bear that cooking thing on Hulu?
Yes.
That looked interesting. But then it went to a season 2, so now we know I'll never watch it.
Hey, you've watched 2 episodes of Gravity Falls.
2 episodes of Gravity Falls?
Or 2 seasons. I meant to say, like, this is your second time watching 2 seasons, so it's like watching 4 seasons. So you can handle 2-season shows now.
No. How many episodes? And wait, I have Hulu right here. I could probably just look it up.
I think it's 8 and 10.
Oh, wow. It knew. I didn't even have to look it up. It's right there. Yeah, it is 8. I don't want to click on it. How long is said episode? Why does it not tell me the time?
Because they're each one's different.
Well, I didn't. I thought it would just said like how. Oh, that's Netflix, isn't it? That tells you how long the thing is. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We'll see. Like, I still have to watch the newest season of What We Did in the Shadows. Or What We Do in the Shadows.
And look at that. They're starting season 5?
I don't know. You know what I was annoyed about? How now, a year after we finished, we're coming up to the anniversary of our Predator and Alien things, and all the Alien movies are now on Hulu. Just all of them.
We did talk about that, yeah.
I didn't remember if we did talk about it or not, but I was like, what the dump? I will say, though, I did watch a movie. I don't know if this was when this was. And some people are probably like, s2e13, what does this matter? I'm like, look, I don't watch anything unless I have to record it for this show.
I thought you were watching something on Netflix that was a Korean drama that was for you.
I
for
made
content.
it. Yeah, I made it halfway through, and then I never picked it back up.
I was gonna say, give yourself some credit.
Yeah, but now let's see. I think I got I put it in my phone so that way I knew, and just in case Netflix decides to charge me. I have 2 weeks, technically 3 weeks left. And I'm like, this show was good. I'll say it was the extraordinary something Woo. Attorney Woo.
Yeah.
Which it was fun. I've been like, I don't know. I just kind of just stopped watching. And then there was the other one I wanted to watch, which just sounded interesting. which is called The Glory. But then I'm sitting here and I'm like, is it just Netflix originals that I'm not digging? Because I have this other one, which I think it's like a Japanese drama called Quartet. I have no clue what it's about, but it has like some old lady handing money to this street performer who looks very confused, at least the picture. And let's see, 10 episodes. Maybe. Hey, you know what? We'll see. Well, the better question. Can I start it? We'll see.
Starting's the hardest part.
And then finishing is the next. But let's see. On Woo, I made it to episode 10. Okay. Yeah, so there's 6 more episodes. I think the other thing that annoyed me is like all these episodes are like 70 plus minutes long. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why are they so long? Can't they be a little bit shorter? The answer is no. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We already spent all our free time talking about mythologies that you guys will never hear.
I hope they get a chance to hear some of the mythologies. They're pretty fun stories.
Well, I meant from us right now. Look, you guys can pay attention to the real mythology, and that's the mythology of the Pointless Discourse podcast, where we get such reviews as, I didn't know.
It's not a review. It's an FAQ.
Yeah, it was a question. You took a picture. I didn't know that. So, if you made it this far, listening to our podcast, which looking at their picture, it is a Mean Girls picture. So maybe not.
When I sent you the screenshot, I think it was like a week old, right?
Yeah.
It was like 6 days ago.
Yeah.
We're recording how many weeks into the future?
I can count. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll count on my phone. Yeah, you finish your thought and I'll count.
Well, I was saying I wanted the number because the person, if they've made it this far, would have had to have listened to X number of episodes.
So let's see.
With us not responding to their question.
That's on them, though.
It was not a clear question. I don't remember dropping any particular fun facts during the Mean Girls Christmas episode.
Six, 7, 28, 29, 30, 31.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I was counting the weeks. 31, 32. It'd be in the 30 episodes later.
Oh, I didn't mean that much in the past. If they commented 6 days ago, and then we're like 4 or 5 episodes ahead, then it's...
Oh, yeah, plus that. So close to 40. Almost just shy of a whole year. Hey, but that's the thing. We don't know what they didn't know. And to be fair, it could have been something I stupidly said as well. Because I'm like, I think I do remember mentioning like that this is where the lore of isekai comes from by the amount of people he hits by buses. I slightly remember saying something like that. So, hey, if you guys are listening to this episode in the middle of August, I think that's when this comes out. Look, to date this episode, which mainly any of my co-hosts on any of the shows have mixed feelings of when I do this. It's the week after Charity Palooza, so but it went very well. So if anyone was there, cool, thanks. I think we raised $1,275.
Woo.
Times 2 because where I work, they decided to donate as well.
Match the donation.
Yep. Which are like when I asked them on Monday, and they're like, they came and was like, so how much do we have to give? And I'm like, oh, you guys are doing that? He's like, thought we told you. No.
Nobody said it to me.
And they're like, oh, well, how much? And I'm like, this. So, But any poops. Yeah, so I forgot what I was gonna say. But hey, you know what? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say a fun transition to talking about rolling dice, perhaps.
Well, I literally was about to do that, and then I thought you were asking me something different. I was gonna say, hey, just like nerds, let's roll dice, because in this episode, nothing ever bad happens when rolling dice. Now, as soon as I get my infinity-sided die...
Oh, wait, someone gifted me some dice, so...
Oh!
And they're at my desk. Dispel Dice brand. Not sponsored. We'll take a sponsor.
Yeah. Can we be... I don't know why that reminded me, but the PAX Unplugged tickets went on sale.
I mean, it makes sense why it'd remind you.
Yeah.
That's where we all buy our dice. So, I don't know how well they come up on camera for video viewers, but... Oh, no!
Yeah, I was waiting for that. As you were holding them, I'm like, are they all going to fall out?
Only one did. Let me see which one
that
I
counts.
can find.
That counts as the roll.
It was the D100, so I don't think it counts.
It should.
Can you see what's on the dice? I can't. I don't know if I can get my
it's
camera
focusing
to focus.
on your face. Yeah, you got to do the... You got to... If I remember anything from watching makeup Instagrams, you got to be like, there we go. Where's my camera? There
It
we
did
go.
focus on it for a second. Let me get out of camera. No. What is it focusing on now?
Your Fitbit?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh. It's focusing on the other bunny. Come on. No, it's my mic.
Okay. Now I will speak for Hop, as she doesn't have her mic. It looks like a telescope in the blurry shape. Is it a guitar? Is it?
It's a bunny.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
It's called a lunar bunny. Yeah, I can't find any better. Is this the D20? I'm gonna say, yeah, this is the 20.
There we go. So yeah, if any dice people want to have their dice rolled every week on this podcast, all we need is a D20. We'll get a shrine, put it up, say it's the podcast.
I don't have a dice tray to prove that I'm rolling this dice.
Well, I'll believe you. Unless you roll a nat 1 because you're like, I'm tired, I don't want to speak.
Alright, I rolled mine.
I rolled mine. I rolled a 10.
I rolled an 8. I can't get it to focus.
Well, that doesn't prove it. You picked it up, and you gotta put it on anything now. Yes, I rolled a 10. Here, can you see it? Yeah. Every once in a while, like, I'll get ads for dice, and I'm like, should I? There was one, I'm like, it's like, yeah, free dice and everything, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Lunar
Can you read
bunnies.
that?
Yep, I can read that.
It's inedible. It's not a toy. It's a choking hazard.
Technically, it is a toy.
Intended for the adult collector. And it has the California warnings about reproductive problems. The P65. Cancer and reproductive harm.
I'm pretty sure that...
Remind me.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, just remind me, don't eat these.
I am looking them up on the internet now, and now I can see the bunny. I like the 10-sided die. It's got like some... I guess it looks like it has a bunny wearing a witch hat that's just like on the O that's just like, what?
It might be different, because, you know, the casts always...
Yeah.
I put it in wrong, so I don't have the pull tab. I pushed...
Well, and that was the end of the Lunar Bunnies.
It's fine. It's your turn to talk, so take us away.
They have a dice called the Chunk D20 on it. Oh my goodness, those things
massive.
are huge.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Like, so I have a pretty big... I don't know actually where that D20 is. But this dude, it's just sitting in this dude's hand. That one's a lady hand. No, they're all lady hands, unless that one's a dude hand. I'm just going off of nails. I guess a dude could have his nails done like that. I don't know. This looks like a die I wouldn't want to roll. I would just have it sit behind me, or I would chuck at somebody for breaking the rules. Then I realized I would be the one breaking the rules. Sorry, were you about to say something?
Take us away. I got my dice sorted out.
Okie dokie. Yeah. I will say, last thing I want to say about die, there is one that I was thinking about getting, and then I just don't. I see them on Etsy all the time where it's like the Beholder liquid gel eyes where like the eye moves around, and I'm like, I play mostly in the dark from a computer screen. I don't know if I'll be able to read these dice. Anyway, so we open up in the episode where we see a little sign that says temporary closed for repairs, which seems like the whole town of Gravity Falls. But pretty much Mabel sitting there eating or blowing a bag of cheese boodles. Cheese boodles. Pretty much eating the empty bag as she eats them, and she's like talking about just how nothing's really happening on a Tuesday, and Stan's like, yep, nothing was like finally have a day where nothing interesting happening whatsoever, as and they're all just like the whole family's just kind of chilling there, and then Ford like burst out of the vending machine door with a cycloptopus wrapped on his wrist as everyone starts freaking out, as Ford's just, everyone get down, don't let it taste human flesh, as he just pretty much wrestles it, destroys the shop, and finally like gets under control, as Dipper's like, what is it? And Mabel's like, can we keep it? And Stan starts hitting it with a rolled up newspaper, yelling to kill it. So anyway, pretty much they chase it, like Ford kind of corners it, and like just kind of it says he captures it, and shocks it with the gloves, and like kind of holds it like it's burnt body, and she's like, hey, nah. Stan's like, no, we got to get out of here because it smells. It smells like if death could barf. So, who knows? Whenever I think of death, I always think of The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. So, that is what the Grim Reaper always sound in my head. Anyway. So, like, Dipper, like, pretty much sees all these, like, hey, Uncle Ford, you need help? I'm pretty good. Ford's like, get out of my way, kid. Like, it's like, yeah, don't do this. Well, let me know for dinner. Very much like, I don't know, probably because of doing a whole bunch of Call of Cthulhu and stuff. It's like very much that whole like cryptic old man that's just like, nope, you don't want to do this. Enjoy your sanity. Okay, toodles. And dips out as and Dipper's definitely disheartened. He's like, maybe next time or never, as Ford just disappears, and Mabel tries to cheer him up, and like, hey, it's all good. It Stan's like, no, do take it hard. Don't take it hard and serious. My brother's a dangerous know-it-all, and like pretty much just like don't forcibly put yourself in danger. Like, just stay away from him. Like, do me a solid. And Dipper's like, but this was my whole like goal this whole summer, to find the author and figure out the mysteries of the books, and now I can't even talk to him. And Stan's like, dude, don't worry what's down there. You can hang out with us. And yeah, and there's like, and then they kind of mention, yeah, the season finale of Ducktective is on, which is like, and that's all the mystery you need. So anyway, they kind of go, which it's kind of funny because I couldn't remember if Stan watched Ducktective with them, or if it was like, he was like, what the heck is this? And then I couldn't remember in the past, but
yeah, I remember them watching it before. I just don't remember who was present in the room.
Yeah. But the only thing that really sticks out in my head with Stan watching TV is when the kids at the Halloween episode where he's like, kids, I can't find the remote and I'm too lazy to get up to change the channel. Kids, and he watches like gone in the wind for like 3 hours. So yeah, and they all start quacking as Dipper's like, "But I don't wanna," and they're like, "Why are you not quacking?" And then we get the theme song. And it's I think the first time that Mabel and Dipper make any reference to their parents, except for we've been dropped off here, as Mabel is writing a letter home, pretty much just giving like a brief overview of what happened. What's happening in Gravity Falls. Like, yesterday, gravity reversed itself, almost destroyed the universe, totally wrecking the whole town. And then, like, she looks up at the TV, and Lazy Susan's like, "Yep, there was an earthquake right here." It's like, "I'll have to start serving pineapple right side up cake. Am I right, huh? Am I right?" And then Mayor Bluffenfurter, I totally butchered that name, who I thought he was dead. He's like,
He just has vultures flying around him at parties.
Yeah, I thought there was a scene where he got
turned to a tree like everybody else.
Yeah. And then I don't remember if he ever came back because we saw everybody else. But anyway, he's like, "Let the rebuilding of the town begin. Wrecking ball, start wrecking things," and starts maniacally laughing as a wrecking ball destroys a radio tower, which lets the television lose its signal. And then she goes on to write like how Grunkle stands, talks about Ford and how he came up with the portal thing. He's like, "Now we have 2 Grunkles for the price of 1. And I was reading this line. So this beginning part, I was making breakfast while watching, so I'm like partly remembering this. And it's like, she stops writing, takes a picture of Stan and Ford holding hands, and then as drawn the letter, folds them together in a high voice, "We love each other so much." And I'm like, okay. So
yeah, the drawings have the grumpiest faces too, so
so while she's doing that, Dipper kicks down the door and is like, "You'll never guess what I found at the store today. Dogs with hats." It's like, no, my favorite fantasy talking level counting statistic and graph paper involving game of all time, and holds up a box. Dungeons and more dungeons. And proceeds to be like, "Can you play?" And she's like, "Well, I do like unicorns, and that hot elf looks promising. How do I play?" And then I feel like Dipper does every excited tabletop role-playing nerd's mistake of literally going into the hardcore mechanics, which, if we want to talk about bringing new people into a game, I feel like that is a episode all on itself. Which I feel like I would have a little bit of not ground to step on, but a little bit feel more comfortable talking about that, because there's tons of games that I bring new players who never played role-playing games and people who never played a game and get them to, or that style of game, and get them to play. And at least they tell me they have fun. Maybe I'm just very intimidating. You can tell me if I'm intimidating.
Hello, everybody. I love this podcast. It is so fun to do.
That's right. Oh my goodness. I don't know why TikTok keeps sending me this. I don't even know who this guy is, but he keeps sending me clips of this podcast. I think it's called like Worst Friends or Two Friends. I don't know what it's called, but it's just these two guys, and I think they're both comedians, and they just yell at each other. And I'm like, I don't know who any of these people are. Some of them I laugh, some of them I don't. I think one of them's name is Bobby. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, that whole interaction reminded me of a clip that I saw of them.
Yeah.
I think like he had like the Bobby guy has this like ex-girlfriend's niece on the show. I don't know. I never watched it. I'm gonna stop talking about it. I don't even know what it's called. Yeah, it's they all get along, from what I can tell. Anyway, Dipper goes into the core mechanics of this group, of this game, rather than here's how you make a character and what the theme. And then Mabel's like, can we ride unicorns? Yeah. Yeah. Dipper's like, yeah. And she's like, really? And then, like most people, and no. And it's like,
well,
first,
yes, but no.
And yeah. Oh. First we make a graph, and it was like, it's homework the game, which I don't know if I said it on this podcast or if I said it on the Call of Cthulhu show or any of the other things. I'm like, I feel like I would have enjoyed math and learned it better if I was playing tabletop role-playing games growing up. Because, like, for the longest time, math was just memorize these things to get this answer that you should already have memorized.
Mm-hmm.
And I failed. So anyway, Mabel dips out, and Dipper's like, we need at least two people to play, and s2e walks in, and Mabel's like, look, 2 people, peace. And he turns to s2e, like, hey, do you want to play a game of D&D and more D? And s2e's like, sorry, Dipper, I don't go over that pen and paper kind of stuff. I'm more of a Ficloper. Which is FCLORP, and he holds up a wristband with it written on it, and Dipper's like, what's that? And he's like, a foam and cardboard legitimate outdoor role play. And he's like, it's where passionate brethren of craftsmen bring their dreams of reality to magical reality. And then it cuts together. It cuts from that scene to s2e, Toby determined, Sheriff Blubbs, and Deputy Durland in the yard with cardboard costumes on and yelling, let yon princess go. Oh, did my headphones just unplug? Nope. Okay, I can hear. I heard a sound.
Your screen froze for me.
Oh, yep, I see that.
Am I frozen for you?
No, I think it's...
Still frozen.
Yeah. It sounded like something unplugged. This is fun.
Quality control.
Let's see. Now it's just broken.
Yeah, it's not frozen, but...
Oh, it sounds like it maybe plugged back in. If it didn't activate. There we go.
Back to normal.
Yeah, that was weird. If you guys are watching the video, you can see all that. I heard like the little chime of something unplugging and then plugging back in. So, the first that ever happened. How hot is this? It's not that hot. So, but yeah. Pretty much s2e is LARPing. I don't remember what I was saying. But anyway, moving forward. So then Dipper looks at Stan, and Stan's like, as he walks in, he's like, isn't that mostly math and writing that isn't anything like the picture in the box? He's like, yeah, do you want to play? He's like, no. The only dice rolling I do is in Vegas. And he's like, only a game designed by nerds would have charisma as a fantasy power. And then so Stan and Mabel start making fun of it, where Dipper's like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm done with this. And it cuts to him, like, he leaves, and I lost spot. Oh yeah, so it cuts to him, like, outside, rolls the dice, and he's playing with Gompers, and Gompers, like, starts eating the dice. Which I didn't catch this line, but it's like, as he's playing alone, as Gompers is sitting there, and Dipper's like, and this is sad. Maybe I should start obsessing over Wendy again. As Gompers takes the dice, and as Dipper tries to take it out of his mouth, it rolls underneath the house, and he's like, as he goes to get it, he falls down a hole.
The thing that I think is funny about the hole, I don't know if you noticed on the side, it's like, s2e was here. Oh god, I think I'm stuck. As he, like, there's clearly stuff to try and spackle the hole, but he didn't finish it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull it up while you continue.
Yeah. So, yeah, so pretty much he lands in the basement. breaking open the Cyclops body as he picks it up as Ford comes in. And it's just like, what are you doing? It's far too dangerous down here. And he's like, it's far too dangerous for a single living soul to spend. He's at a 38-sided die from Dungeon, more dungeons. And type like, you know the game? And he's like, yeah, with the pen and paper, the sword and shield, and our quest shall be a sweet reward. And as Dipper and Ford say the like catch line together, I kind of go down like a memory lane a little bit of like just their different times of playing it. And as Ford's like, you know what? I can stop everything I was working on and play. As Dipper's like super excited. And like, so we kind of come back as Mabel and Stan are in the kitchen as they're kind of getting ready for the season finale of Detective. And they're just like, they're making different things, getting ready. As Stan like made a pretty much the main character out of spare taxidermy parts, and he's like imitating Detective. As Mabel's like, that's messed up. Dipper would love that. And we're like, where is he anyway? I haven't seen him all afternoon. As we go down to the basement, as Ford and Dipper are playing it. It's like playing the game. They're having just a ton of fun. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it says it there.
Yeah, I was gonna take a screenshot of Hulu's web browser. He's like, no screenshots.
Yeah.
Like, goodness, Hulu.
Yeah.
So serious.
Yep, I remember that. It's probably like to stop like I wonder if that
like
would
screen
stop
sharing.
Screen sharing, or just I wonder if that would stop OBS.
Yeah.
Any poop. So yeah. So yeah, Ford links this as an illusion cast by Probibulator the Annoying, and he's like, and Dipper's like, you know his weakness, right? And they both say prime statistical anomalies over 37 but not exceeding 51. I'm like, okay, it's one of these games. As they roll the dice, I believe they would call this game, from the way they talk about it, a crunchy system. And so, but yeah, as they kind of fight the wizard, and Ford's like, you know what? As they're looking at the picture of the Probibulator, and he's like, man, this guy looks different than back in the day. And he's like, yeah, they change the art every few years. And he's like, big thing if you missed the period in the 90s when they tried to make the game cooler. As it cuts to like a 90s style commercial, and it's just like this teen's like, man, this game's boring, as the wall explodes and the Probibulator wearing colorful clothes appears, and he's like, how dare you. Oh my goodness, I already have trouble saying his original name. The Probibulator. Wow. Says in his name, and he's like, as the voiceover, so I can flip my cat back and roll the dice. Don't step to the wizard, because the wizard don't. And pretty much the words dungeon, more dungeons appear, and then crossed out and replaces diggity dungeons and all that. And yeah, diggity dungeons and all that updated for 9 double deuces, available wherever dope games are sold. As the probable dizzle says peace, and it goes back to the things like, it must have been dark times in those 90s, which I'm like, are they making fun of 4th edition?
I think they're just making fun of how ridiculous the 90s were.
Yeah, some people, I don't know, some people are like, it'd be nice to go back. I'm like, I don't know. Depends. I don't know if I want to go back to any time period. Unless it's like the beginning of my life with all the knowledge I have. So that way I can ruin my future with the money. It's one of those things I always thought it'd be funny, because like I feel like in fiction, like at least in movies, because like I understand why they do this. maybe what I'm thinking would probably make sense more in a TV show, where it's like this person goes back to like their past self with all the knowledge that they have, but then somehow like they're still friends with like all the other people, like all the people from their first time, because it's like, and I'm like looking at it, it's like that means they would actively have to like do something similar to be friends with those people. And it's like, it's one of those things I'm like, you know what? If I went back in time and everything, it's like my brain wouldn't be able to disconnect like the hours that Hop and I talked. And if I went into her mixer stream with all the like
my knowledge,
the relationship, just like, yo, what's up? She wouldn't talk to me. I get banned so quick. So, and then she'd be doing this podcast with someone else because it's a canon event. I don't know. I just see the meme. I don't know what it means.
I saw a funny tweet that was someone saying that they watched Futurama for the first time, and they found out because it's kind of like the opposite of time travel, right? He goes into the future. And she was like, since Fry had like $2 in a bank account and accrued interest for like 1,000 years, is that the only ethical way to become a billionaire?
I think I saw that tweet.
Yeah. I was like, sounds ethical to me.
Yeah. Oh man, it's what was it? Fry also like. There's so
I know
many
there's a new season.
There's a new season. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm not gonna watch it, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I figured time will tell. If I gotta watch it, who knows? Not have to, but if I'm going to, it's like we'll just see. But yeah, it was. I still think the way they're like, how is Fry able to like not be hypnotized by the hypno frogs? And it's just like, well, when you went back in time and slept with your grandmother, making you your your great grandfather, or what was it? Yeah,
he's his own.
He's his own great grandfather. There we go. It made a loop in your mental cycle to make it impossible to hypnotize you. And he's just sitting there, he's like, what? And out of context, and you're like, what is this show? It's just one thing, okay? It's yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna defend it. Anyway, moving back.
It's a smart comedy. It's much smarter than The Simpsons. Same creator.
Yeah. Now, The Simpsons is where they get all their clairvoyance out.
Yeah, I do like all those memes every time. The Simpsons predicted this.
Yeah, but then again, what The Simpsons has how many episodes, and it's like, you do things enough, you're gonna align, but I don't know. There's some of the things I'm like, okay, that's kind of eerily like the same thing. Like, they're time travelers. Any poops. So where was I? But yeah, so pretty much they kind of look in the past as Dipper is pretty much like asked like, hey, Great Uncle Ford, can I? It's like he pretty much asked them like, I've been like pretty much as you came in the machine, he pretty much is just wondering like, hey, what have you been doing? And what are you working on? As Ford's just like, Dipper, it's best if the family stays away from that subject. And it's like, I'm not sure if any of you guys could handle the real answer. Dipper's like, but I can. And Ford cuts him off. He's like, but I can show you this little something I brought back with me. As he opens up this box of the infinity-sided die. As Dipper rightfully says, whoa, that's so cool and impossible. And he's like, these things are outlawed in 9,000 dimensions. You want to know why? And he's like, look at those symbols. Infinite sides means infinite outcomes. And pretty much says, like, whatever rolls, like, anything could happen. It's like, the world could be turned into an egg. Our face is going to turn into jelly. Or you can just roll an 8. And he's like, that's why I keep it in a protective, cheap plastic case. So, I wonder if they have, that'd be a fun, not relic. My brain can't think of the word. item, little statue thing. The thing, something from so obscure.
Miniatures?
Yeah, not miniature, but it's just like, you know how they have like the statues of, or like the bust of like kind of people or certain objects, like a display or something. I can't think of the right word, so I'm just gonna move forward.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I guess it would be a miniature. I say I'm gonna move forward, and it immediately doesn't. So anyway, which this is confusing to me, because didn't they say that the season finale of Detective was that night, and then it's the night as Mabel's trying to sleep, as Dipper is making pretty much drawing out a dungeon for him and Ford to play with. As Mabel's like, dude, you gonna go to sleep? And he's like, dude, I gotta finish this dungeon. I'm gonna totally stump Great Uncle Ford. And then Mabel's like, you're spending a lot of time with them. What's going on? He's like, dude, he's really cool. And it's like, I'm realizing Dipper's crux of his relationship with Mabel. Like, not realize, it's like, it's pretty obvious, but how Dipper, like, pretty much the majority of, like, not trouble, but, like, the relationships he chases is people that don't make fun of what he likes, which is not a foreign concept, but it's like, Mabel does not grasp that, and that does make sense. At 12 years old, I don't think I would grasp that. I don't know. Some people, I don't think, grasp that even in their 30s. And so, but yeah, Dipper's like, look, he doesn't make fun of me all the time like you and Grunkle Stan do. And Mabel's like, give him time. He's gonna do it. And it's like, no. And he's like, you got me. It's like, it's pretty much saying, like, you got me. And she turns around all sad. To where we go to the next day as Mabel and there's a fly in front of me. As Mabel and Grenda are standing in front of the door. As the detective, they're like, Mabel's wearing a detective sweatshirt, and she's like, Grenda, thanks for coming over tonight's detective finale. And they're like, I'm so invested in the lives of these characters. As Stan comes down, it says he's wearing a suit, but isn't he just kind of wearing the same thing he does every day? I guess he's not wearing his boxers and tank top. So they're like, yeah, it's time to go up. As Elon goes off and they're getting ready, he's like, viewing positions, as the whole living room is commandeered by Ford and Dipper with graph paper all over the room, dice, and they're all having the time of their life. As Grenda comes in, graph paper, kill it. She begins stomping the paper. And Mabel's like, could you move this to a different room? As Ford's like, nope, we ran out of room in the basement, and we're going for a world record. It's like, now we're all 32, and they're like, yeah, 7,000 points of damage. And so, as Dipper and Ford are having the time of their lives, Stan's like, all right, I'll have you know the Stan starts defending Detective, and he's like saying how there's humor. There goes our kid's head, as Grenda proves that point. He's like, I don't get a lot of it, but I like the animals and human situations. As Mabel starts freaking out, it starts in a few minutes, and so Stan tries to move some of the paper on the TV, and Ford's like, move that and pay the price. And just realized Stan's like, oh, what, 50 magical dwarf dollars? And then it goes back and forth, and as Stan's like, look, I'll mock it all I want. It's my TV room. As Ford's like, it's my house. And it's like, as Ford's like, do you guys think if you actually joined these, you would have fun? He's like, no. It's like, I will never, as much as I live, as he takes Ford's bag, and like everyone's like, wait, don't do that. As he kind of throws the bag, the infinity-sided dice comes out and rolls pretty much the Dungeons characters as they come out as the probabiliators, like, mortals of this dimension, of dimension 46, kneel before me. Oh wait, was that 46 squared? I can't read that math equation.
I don't know what they tried to write.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's some sort of math thing, and pretty much he's like, I'm the greatest wizard in all mythology, give or take an error of 0.4. And Stan's like, is this supposed to happen? And they, within a couple, like, oh, we're just here to do a cool quest. And he's like, no, I'm going to eat your brains and gain your intelligence, what I do. And the ogre's like, yeah, it's his thing. So, the ogre grabs Ford and Dipper. Oh, this I liked this line. Your math is no match for my gun, you idiot. As Ford pulls out a gun, and probably later just shoots him with a math ray, and they're just like, just takes him. So, as there's a giant hole in the wall, and Grenda's like, so the room's free. We're gonna watch it, and so. Mabel and they're all standing there, and Mabel's like, we gotta go help our brothers. And Stan's like, maybe we'll let him take a few bites out of Ford's brain first. Even things out smartness wise. And Mabel gets upset. He's like, okay, we have no choice. Let's go on an epic wizard quest. And so they say, everyone grab a weapon. And so, I would ask you, I'll say what their weapons are while you think. What would be your weapon that you would grab in your house?
Going on an epic wizard quest?
Yeah.
I don't know that I have anything quite as useful as what Stan pulls out from a very uncomfortable looking place, if that's where he always stores it.
Yeah.
I think the best I can do is probably what Mabel grabs.
A rake.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Stan has a baseball bat that he pulls out of the couch cushion. Mabel takes a rake, and Grenda just picks up a chair. And not just like a folding chair. It is a full recliner. Or not recliner, but a big like sofa end. Mm-hmm. And they're just like, I'm trying to think. I'm looking around my apartment now, and oh wait, I got a big old stick in my bedroom. So yeah, I guess I would go the route of Grunkle Stan. I threatened the noises in the dead of night with that stick before.
Important.
Yeah, I guess a quick story. It doesn't take long. I watched I think it was The Strangers or The Uninvited. It's now I'm blanking on the movie. But I think it's The Strangers, and it's like this movie based on real events where these guys go up to this mountain house. And then these weird maxed people like terrorize and murder the people. And so I watched that, came home at like the dead of night, and it was in the middle of summer. I live like off like a highway that goes through a residential area, and there was like no cars, so that was super quiet. There was no noises of bugs. There was no like air conditioner noises. It was just dead silent. And so I'm walking and I was like, this is creepy. And then like I get home and it's like abnormally quiet, like with almost 6 people living in there. I get in my bed, like I take a shower, I get in the bed, and then I hear like creaking around the house, and I'm like, who the heck is in here? And so I stood at the end of the hallway with the stick. I'm like, if anyone's out here, you better leave, otherwise I'm gonna hit you with this stick. And then I went to bed, and I woke up the next day, and I told my mom, and she was like, well, I didn't hear that, but I think I was walking around at that time because she had to go to the bathroom. And so I'm like, she's like, well, I'm glad I didn't go upstairs and get hit with the stick. So anyway, yeah, so they all grab a weapon, and they're like, okay, time to go save the brothers, as the defibrillator is like, pretty much,
And Mabel wants her hot elf.
Yeah, I'm like, they said something about the elf, and I'm like, I was trying to find it. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, yeah, stands, yeah, it's like, we're coming for you, Dipper, and Great Uncle Ford, and possibly that hot elf, if he's got anything to do with this. And so anyway, we kind of go to the defibrillator as he's measuring Ford and Dipper's heads. And Ford, like, if I was free, I'd break every part of your face. And Defibrillator was like, okay, the time has come. Hot elf, ready the brain cooking pot. And he's like, Yes, perpibulator. As he just shakes his hair free and like is sparkling and just shoots a flaming arrow into the pot. And they're kind of just walking through to the forest as now Grenda has we go back to Grenda, Mabel, and Stan. Grenda somehow got a lute as she's playing, and the Stan slaps the. You must be getting close. The fairy bites are getting more frequent as it goes to the back, and the fairy's like, "Hey, look, listen." And I was like, I get that reference. So pretty much an ogre gets in their way to stop them, and he's like, if you wish to pass, you must complete my 7 unworldly quests. Wait a second, Hercules. Anyway, each more difficult than that, and then Grenda just hits him in the head with the chair. And he's like, is he dead? And Stan's like, he's magic, sweetie. I'm sure he's fine. And then, like, whispers, oh, Mabel's asking that. And then as Stan gets close to Grenda, there's no cops in the forest. We take this to our graves. As Grenda's
they
like,
wink at each other.
Yep. And they're like, got it. And I'm like, the people in Gravity Falls are psychopaths. So pretty much we go back to the defibrillator, and he's just like, what do we do? And Ford's like, stop thinking, Dipper. The more wrinkly your brain gets, the more he'll want to eat it. And pretty much starts. He's like, nah. The defibrillator gets all in their face. He's like, now I have a math problem. If I subtract your brain from your skulls, add salt, and divide your family, what's the remainder? As Mabel says, your butt. And he's like, my butt isn't part of this particular equation. As they jump out, and another great line. I feel like these lines just are great because of playing tabletop role-playing games. It's like, how did you make it past my one guard? Oh, well, the only way you can save your family is you must defeat me. In, like, a real-life edition of Dungeons and More Dragons. Dungeons, not Dragons. And Stan's like, really? Come on. And the Caribbean's like, I choose my characters as pretty much, the 2 ogres appear in his hand. He's like, versus, and then Dipper and Ford appear as elf characters. They say elf characters. I think Ford is. I thought Dipper was a hobbit. Anyways.
They have pointy ears.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only equivalent. But as it's Dipper's like, there better be something protective under this tunic, and turns around and looks. Oh no, there isn't. And Stan's like, can we just like arm wrestle or something? And he's like, come on, this game's a lot of fun. I had my mom pack me lunch. As he pulls out apple slice, he's like, ew. I'll eat you last. So Stan's like, all right, what are the rules? As he starts like chewing on a piece of gum. Then there's a battle royale. We help our characters by casting spells, determine the roll of the die, and if you win, I go back to my dimension. He's like, I win, I eat their brains. And Tip's like, I don't think it's a good idea. And Stan's like, deal. And so, anyway, they go and they start going through this, where pretty much the whole gist of this is literally use your imagination to do anything and roll the dice to see if you can do it. And but like pretty much like the defibrillator is like goes first. He's like just crushed Dipper and Ford with clubs as like they start running away, and Stan and Mabel are very confused. Like, what do we do? What are the moves? Like, as we just said, you just make them up. And it's like, wait, that's it? And he's like, yeah, it involves math, but risk and imagination. And Mabel's like, imagination? Uncle Stan, make up something. It's just like lying. He's like, I cast a shield of shielding. and it works. And so pretty much Defibrillator does counterspell and or the shield reversal spell. Mabel does giggly time bouncy boots as they pretty much get moon shoes. I don't know if that reference still is a thing today. And then gives them hot flamey swords, and then changes to super hot flamey swords as the sword gets longer. And they kill the ogres and they keep going forward, and the Defibrillator is like, I cast Ogrenado, as it's just a tornado with a bunch of ogre faces. And he's like, it's exactly what it sounds like. And Mabel's like, I cast the Centaur Tar. which is a body of a horse rolls out as the camera pulls out, and for the head is another body of a horse. As Stan's like, Mabel, I'm so confused and proud right now. So you get on a horse and begin to run away as the Ogrenado falls apart. And then the last thing, like the Impossibeast, which, let's see, quick description. It's a, let's get this vague. It looks like a creature with bat wings, like weird, like frog-like hands with, or no, they look like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle hands. Has like four arms and hands, like weird,
2 mouths.
Yeah, 2 mouth, like 1 mouth inside a mouth.
2 tongues.
Yep, 2 tongues. 1 eye, got a bunch of teeth. Multiple horns, and it looks like the horns have eyes on them. But the only way the Impossibeast is able to be, you know, like, as Ford's like, wait, I thought these things were banned. And he's like, I thought they banned this character. And Probability's like, and again, I'm playing the controversial 1991-92 edition. As the Impossibeast slams Dipper and Ford against the wall. And he's like, I'll think of weapons. And they're like, no, you can't. Like, the only way you can beat this is rolling a perfect 38. And he's like, but the odds of that, and Stan's like, hey, the long odds are what makes a world-class gambler. And he's like, and Papa needs a new pair of twins. And as he rolls the die, and it, like, slow-mo lands on the 38, and Probability's like, what? No. And Stan's like, sorry, nerd wizard, all your smarts are no match for dumb luck. And then Mabel's like, I cast death muffins, and it's pretty much a stick of dynamite in a muffin. And they just toss it into the Impossibeast's mouth. It explodes, and they win. And as everything seems to be disappearing, as it kind of cuts to Grenda hugging the hot elf as he closes the rule book, and is like, the game is like over. Excelsior or whatever. And so it's sending the Probibulator and everyone that came with him back to his realm. And Dipper's like, dude, how'd you do that? How'd you know you would win? And he's like, hey, Hamlin never reveals his secret. As when he picks up the die, he realizes that he stuck a little bit of gum to the bottom so it would land on 38. And Mabel's like, man, that was fun for ages 8 to 80 or a million or however old you guys are. Just rude. So, but Stan pretty much apologizes for, like, getting in the way, and he's like, you know what? Yeah, if you and my brother are getting along, like, if you guys want to hang out, I won't get in your way, which is, like, almost the exact opposite of the ending of the previous episode. Mm-hmm. And Dipper's like, you know what? I could use some mindless fun. So where they all go and catch the second showing of the ending of Detective. As they're all, like, everyone's like, oh my goodness. And they're like, the concept, like, who's a clever enough to defeat Detective? Or the only person clever enough to defeat Detective is Detective, as a bedpan hits the constable's head, knocking him out, and he's hearing wah 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 wah, and the subtitles, time to finish the job, twin brother. Terrified quack. And they're all like, wait, he had a twin brother all along? As he starts pouring, Mabel begins, like, in shock, pouring the chips into Stan's lap. And he's like, that's the big twist we were waiting for? He's like, what a ripoff. And so he's like, I predicted that like a year ago. So,
as if they haven't had the same exact plot twist in real life.
Yeah, it felt like that. I wonder if they were, like, making fun of the community a little bit. But all this stuff probably was recorded way in advance. But any poop. So, but yeah, then we go down. What is it? Yeah, so now they're in the basement as Ford's locking up the infinity-sided die. He's like, hey, this is here if you ever need it. And he's like, I thought this is what got us in our whole game playing mess. And he's like, we both got carried away. But We both, yeah, but yeah, pretty much like it's like pretty much like without a friend we'd be gone. And he's like, but can I tell you something? And he's like, so Ford reveals what he was working on. He's like, I was destroying the portal mainly because it's like I was mad at Stan, but he saved me, but it created this interdimensional rift that he contained in a snow globe. And he's like, look, I don't want you to tell anybody this, not even your sister. And Dipper's like, yeah, no, I can do that. And he's like, look, I have tons of powerful enemies, and he's like, but I do trust you with this. Now I have some research to do. Get to bed. As Dipper leaves, and as Ford says, they say goodnight to each other as Ford puts away the rift. And then the end credits scene is Seuss, Blubs, Durlin, and Toby Determined are playing their
folklorping.
Yeah. Where Durlin like gets like a sentience. It feels like, guys, do you ever think that we're doing this because our lives aren't special enough so that we use fantasy as an escape to avoid self-improvement we all need? Maybe we should just go out and grow as people. This Blub's like, fortress can't speak, Durlin. And Durlin's like, I'm a fortress. As the griffin grabs Toby and flies away, and they're all like, should we rescue him? And I'm like, I'm kind of tired. And it's from Falorpin. And he's like, as the voice as it goes back, don't step to the wizard because the wizard don't play nice. Yeah. And that's the episode. I will say there was one thing I noticed that was interesting in the scene with Dipper and Ford at the end. So whenever Grunkle Stan was down in the basement, he had the picture of the twins. And it was always, you could see both of them. Now when Ford is down there, the picture's still there, but Mabel's covered up from the audience perspective. So all you see is Dipper.
Interesting.
I'm probably seeing I don't know how much thought that was going into that, but it was like one of those things I noticed. But yeah, that's the episode. I don't know. Was there any cool facts or anything?
So it looks like we've already talked about all the different character revelations. As you're speaking, nothing particularly new or standout for continuity.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to get less and less of that as we're getting to the final 10 episodes.
Yeah, so when it comes to the continuity, apparently there is a copy of Dungeons, and More Dungeons in Ford's dorm room during one of his flashbacks. Apparently in the Bottomless Pit episode, Ballway Games, they're visible on the Dungeons DD and More D box. They apparently also made the Tumbleweed Terror. That was shown in there. You already mentioned Dipper and his crush on Wendy, because you said you forgot that line.
Yeah.
Oh, it says that Ford locks up the infinity-sided die with a flying saucer keychain Mabel had in the Hide Behind episode. I would not have caught that. And the shack is closed for repairs because of everything that happened in the previous episode.
Mm-hmm. I think I watched the Hide Behind. I didn't remember There's so much like things that come from that one episode. It feels
that
like.
One short, yeah.
And like it's interesting, like because I think I sent it to you.
Yeah, I think I watched a little bit of it. I don't think I got around to much of it.
Yeah, like it honestly like it feels like it could be a horror game. Like just the way they said it, like it's obviously like in fun and like humor the way this whole show is, and it's also in Disney, but it's like I guess watching it as someone in their 30s and like that'd be real freaky.
So for trivia, it says the Pine's disappointment at the reveal that Detective has a twin brother, and Sue saying I predicted that like a year ago, is a reference to the fact that Stan having a twin brother has been a theory since nearly the beginning of the entire show. So I guess it's just been a fan theory ever since the show came out.
Yeah.
Many of the symbols on the Zodiac appear on the infinity-sided die, such as the question mark. When they say the Zodiac is in particular reference to the Bill Cipher Zodiac, not the
Yeah.
but it's the on the dice, when it flashes through all the different sides, you get the question mark, the llama, the pine tree, the glasses, and the symbol on Stan's fez, as well as Bill Cipher himself, your favorite character.
The best character. And it's
I mentioned to you about Seuss's handwriting on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only episode where Grenda appears without candy.
I did notice that.
Yeah, I didn't realize this was the only one without candy when Grenda's in it.
It's the only... Well, I think it's the... I noticed it when watching it, and then I kind of forgot the... But like, I didn't know if there was other ones, but it sounds like this is the only one. Maybe Candy was busy.
But yeah, that's it for trivia.
She was chasing several times. She found a sighting and was chasing them in the woods.
And then this the cryptogram at the end of the game, or at the end of the episode, is Radmaster, and translates to Excelsior whatever, which is what the hot elf said. And the cryptogram at the end page is: fun and games are great distractions, but small things can have chain reactions.
I find it interesting. It really has no connection with the episode, but it's like apparently this episode is when Dipper was going to say his real name to Ford, but it was cut because it's like they didn't have enough time to properly develop the reveal. But in the real life release of Journal 3 is when his name is in there. But
fun facts.
Yep.
So then the question that we always ask at the end of these episodes: D-Payne, who was your favorite character? I feel like that's going to be easier this time around then.
Wait, Al Yankovic was the probibulator?
That's fun.
Oh man, J.K. Simmons is Ford. I'm like, I just was looking up and I'm like, now I hear it, but I'm just like, yeah. Wait, which one? Which one are we starting
Favorite.
off? Favorite?
I figure that's easier this episode.
Yeah, the probibulator. He's fun. It's just, I don't know. It'd be a tie between him and the ogre, but the probibulator, I'm gonna go with. Do you need to know how to spell the probibulator?
I got it.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna say my favorite is Grenda, because she's just caught along for the ride, but contributes so much for having only like 4 or 5 moments on screen.
Yeah.
She just wants to watch her show. She's complicit in murder, and apparently she can play the lute.
Yeah. All like great qualities.
Yeah, I also enjoy her one-liners, like the killing graph paper, things like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I still like the ogre where he's just like, I think I might just want to switch it to the ogre instead of the probibulator. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that because it's just like he's just like I don't think he's the yes man, but he's just like,
I have a job.
Yeah, he's a job, and it's just like the probably like, I want to eat their brains. Like, it's kind of what he does. And then I have 7 quests where he's just doing his thing, and then he gets his head caved in by a chair.
He gets rudely interrupted by a chair.
Which what is it? There's like a little meme going around from the new Dragon Ball Super, where apparently one of the characters starts blasting another character mid-transformation, and like Goku and like all them are like, dude, you can't do that. Like,
that's not an option.
Yeah, and he's like, why? Like, we're in a competition. He's like, don't you want to fight him like at their full strength? And he's like, no.
Finally. How many years of Dragon Ball did it take?
Yeah, but then they're like, come on, and he's like, fine, I'm not getting involved. And then I think he just disappears for like the next like 100 episodes. Yeah, like a normal thing. It's that whole tournament takes 45 minutes, but it takes about like 50 episodes to do. But anyway, most like I don't know. Part of me wants to like say Ford because Ford's main reaction, like fastest reaction with when Probabulator shows up and he's like, nothing will stand against my gun. And it's I don't own a gun, but it's like a joke I'll say a lot, like to people playing fantasy games or anything. It's like, just use gun magic. But yeah, I don't know, because like I'm not Stan because I didn't begrudgingly play tabletop role-playing games. I don't know. But I'm like, I'm not Dipper, who's like, anybody please play, because I'm not as desperate. I gotten better at my invite. I also don't think I'm like Dipper, where it's like I literally have no one to play with. It's like I'm now at the point where other people are like, so when you get another game or an open slot, we have someone that would like to join. I'm like, okay. But so there's that. I don't know. This is I'm definitely not Grenda. Like, I can barely get to a season finale of a TV show.
I thought you were going to say, I can barely lift a chair.
It depends on the chair. I think I'll just have to say Ford, because, like, I think when I find out when people play, I get excited, and I'm like, let's talk about it. And that's, like, Ford's, like, he, like, literally stops, like, it, like, is a change in his character, because he's just, like, he becomes from this, like, ambiguous, like, I have a mission, I can't do anything about it, to, like, you hit the one, like, key sentence of my personality that I'm, like, down to do. So let's figure it out. And so there's plenty of conversations I have with people that I never have met, and we'll talk about tabletop role-playing games. And then people, like, and then it's like a week later, I'm like, I don't even know anything else about that person. What about you?
I think I'm going to have to say Dipper. Particularly when I was younger, I felt like I was trying to get into hobbies that nobody else is interested in, and people made fun of me for it. So then that discouraged me and made me feel like I didn't have friends that had the same interests as me. And then growing up, I realized that I'm better friends with people that just, even if they're not into it, they can respect that I have different hobbies than them, and they don't make fun of me. So I'm a Dipper this episode.
Yeah, I'm realizing the majority of my most is the grumpy old man. So
lots of Grunkle stands, and now that Ford's in the mix,
yeah,
some Ford. I'm back and forth between Dipper.
Yeah,
and
it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna laugh if like neither one is the one we feel most attuned to. Kind of like when
the quizzes shall speak.
Yeah, which we have time. I was like, we probably should do those quizzes. Which we will. We'll probably do them beforehand. I guess we'll have to figure out which one. Well, I guess we can do all three, depending on how long they are. I don't think they... Anyway, that's later stuff. But yeah, it's, I don't know. It's... Who knew that playing Dungeons & Dragons 4th edition in my college dorm would have been such a essential plot point for my life. Which that's why I think when everyone talks bad about 4th edition, I'm like, no, I don't think it's bad as everyone makes out to be, personally. It's a different style of game. And then 5th edition is just a watered down version of 3.5. Which I don't think I would want to go play 3.5.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, you may be nostalgic of 4, but 4 was enough to spawn a whole nother company.
Oh, yeah. No, like, I totally understand, like, it was a well, it's funny because 4 also, like, what the end of 5 was doing, where they were trying to copyright things, was another reason. like the Paizo was created. But it like
and Wizards of the Coast is trying to copyright things again.
Yes. So yeah, it's I'm not. It's a different style game, but I totally like looking at the history. I'm like, I totally understand the frustration with 4th edition, but I think it's much more of it's a lot more of the war game tactical side of it rather than like the survival and statistic, like the hardness that 3.5 had. The crunch, there we go. But I don't know, I was talking with a friend about this the other day. I'm like, I think I'm just tired of sword and sorcery games. Like I like them, but I think I'm just getting tired of that setting, and I want to do other stuff, which I think is why I like Call of Cthulhu a whole lot. But this is a completely different conversation, and we got to end because we were supposed to be done 33 minutes ago. So, and Hop's looking down because she's texting her son's like, dude, I'm almost done. Chill out.
Oh, no, the person said, oh, since you're doing this, I went to the gym and I am only leaving the gym in a few minutes. So
we got a few minutes. Okay, let's go. No.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening this far.
Hey, that's what I do. All right. Bye-bye.